All right. Hey guys. So somebody requested that I do Final Destination Bloodlines. So I'm going to do that really quick, but I'm also going to compare it to some other nostalgic based movies. And hopefully I can do that before anybody else walks in here. So um, it's been 14 years since Final Destination has had a sequel. And I have to say, I love it. Honestly, I would put Final Destination Bloodlines ahead of the original Final Destination 2 sequel. This was done by two co-directors who are both fans of the film and just did it up completely. I know there are some original people sprinkled in there from the original creators of some of the Final Destinations, but I really like that it's two new directors. They're fans. They're trying to recreate the magic of the first one, and they succeeded. Yeah. Wait, I was looking at some of the trivia, like Owen Patrick Joyner actually has a deathly peanut allergy in real life. I'm assuming that this cast and crew just like really got integrated, which I'm a big fan of. I love when a cast and crew actually gets along because I think it shows well on screen. I think that's what makes like a great movie. Just look at Sinners, great cast, and they all got along, and you can tell it shows on screen, and they came together and made an amazing movie. And I feel like it's the same thing with this, like them knowing about his peanut allergy, they obviously got close. I know that they also left it open for cast and crew or cast to improvise, which cut to R.I.P. Mr. Tony Todd improvised the ending of that speech about death, which I think is amazing and incredible that got to be like his last stamp in this world as an actor, and especially with Final Destination and how big a part he plays in that franchise, as well as other horror-based franchises. I think this was just like a perfect send-off, and it's very respectful, and I'm glad that they did that. But yeah, with Final Destination, like my mom and I binge watched a whole bunch of them on HBO, just like I'm sure a whole bunch of other people did before the newest one came out. And when we watched it together, well, I had watched it before her, but when we watched it together in the theater, like she was like cracking up, and she was like, I feel bad that I'm laughing at this. She's like, but she goes, they just did such a good job at making this and how all the things connected and stuff. And I love that was her reaction, because that was my reaction when I first watched it. Like I just started smiling and nodding my head, and I was like, yes, they did it. Like it's the perfect nostalgic formula towards the first one, which is how all the other ones should be. All the other Final Destinations don't play into themselves like this one does. And that's the type of stuff that we like. We love nostalgic formulas. This nostalgic formula works with Scream and Halloween. It clearly didn't work with I Know What You Did Last Summer. I haven't even seen that. I'll wait on that because everybody's talking about how bad it is. So I'm like, But even look, they're trying to do like Freaky Friday. I'm sure it's the exact same setup, same formula, because they want it to work, right? So great, now the AC's kicking on. Hopefully that doesn't interfere with things. Anyways, but yeah, like we love that nostalgic formula, and I'm glad that the newer creative team for Final Destination finally caught on to that. However, I hope that this doesn't continue, but we'll get into that. I love the film. I love that we have two characters having premonitions. We have the grandma having a premonition and she doesn't even survive, like, which is new. And then just the whole premise is new. The bloodline thing, I think it was cool. It's very creative. And I mean, spoilers on spoilers on spoilers. I loved the fake outs. I mean, I saw the turtle get zoomed in on and I was like, oh no, what's gonna happen to the turtle? Or like the glass and the cup with the ice and stuff. You're like, oh no, who's gonna swallow it? But they did some like fake outs, which I really liked. I also cut back to the beginning with the song and the glass. It's just the perfect setup for destruction. It was great. It was extremely creative and clever. As an adult, rewatching movies from like my childhood and watching them with captions on, I learned that it's not Claire, it's Clear Rivers. I learned this a while ago, but just the part of my trivia, that's one of the names of the hospitals that the character Darlene mentions in this movie when they're doing some research. But I thought that was funny. And like, that does sound more like a hospital than a person. But anywho, when Iris and her boyfriend pull up, their car license plate reads FL818E. It was flight 818, like a reference from the first film, which I thought was cool. But so my other point is, as much as I love this film and the creative direction of it, I'm also kind of tired of the repeating of nostalgic films. Like, I know What You Did Last Summer and Scream. I know both of these franchises have undergone being TV series and they did not work out well. They were very poorly done. But I still think that there is a good future for all of these nostalgic franchises to be turned into TV series. Like, look at Welcome to Derry. I think that's going to be a big staple on what we can do with these repeats, like Scream and Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, we can turn these into a series and make it last the way everybody's wanting to make it last forever. Like, you know, my mom mentioned recently, she's like, all these horror movies are coming out like at any time of the year now. It's not just Halloween. I was like, yeah, it's like people want horror, they want thrills. I was like, I'm included in that. I'm one of the people starting Halloween in August. Like, we want the thrills. But I mean, I think that a switch into a TV series would be a great move for a lot of these films. Like I said, sorry, technical difficulties. Like I said, Welcome to Derry, I think, is a great idea. And I mean, look at Haunting of Hill House. That was such a great series. Midnight Mass, everything that Homeboy does. I can't remember his name right now. But like, it's possible to make great thriller series last long. And you could do it the same way that people keep doing it with these movies. Like, just turn it into something else that's supposed to be long lasting, as opposed to, I feel like, wasting time and money on recreating sequels to these franchises. They're not needed. You know what I mean? Like, we're making way for the new. Like, we have new original stories like Sinners. We have new directors on the scene creating things like Talk to Me, or recreating something that worked so well so many years ago, like Final Destination Bloodlines. Like, new actors, fresh cast. Even if some faces look familiar, they're still primarily a new cast, and that's also great. Like, we need to weed through and make way for the new. Like, old Hollywood's dead. It's burnt down. We need to sweep out the fucking debris and the ashes and move on and start creating new things. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to branch out and be one of those new creators. So let's create a new Hollywood and put all this nostalgia in a series or drop it completely and come up with more original stories. But anyways, enough of my tangent. I love this film. It is worth watching. It surpasses Final Destination 2 on down. So definitely check it out. It is a formula. You know what you're getting yourself into. You can't say that it's a bad movie when you know what you're getting into. But anywho, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And thank you to who suggested. I will catch you next time. Thank you.